So just before this video starts I've just added this little bit right at the start because when we've watched the video back, the sound isn't the best, and Mark's really quiet and I'm really, really loud. So you're going to either have me really loud or Mark not being able to be heard. So we apologise for that right now, and it'll be sorted out for the next video that we do. Thank you very much and hope you enjoy it. So welcome to Sorare Wakey Academy, and today we have our first ever guest. And it doesn't get much bigger than this, does it? You can see him in the bottom corner there. Gives a little wave, Mark. This is McBride Ace, as you all know, aka Mark McBride, the king of the keepers, the prince of the tweeters, who has card-winning repeaters every single game week. So today what we're going to do is we're looking at potential Wonderkid keepers. Now, as I say, Mark is really good at this, and he sort of looks up all these keepers all the time, and he's one after the other just constantly sells on for massive prices and massive profits as well. So today we're going to have a look at Sorare data and talk about the goalkeepers and anything else Mark wants to chat about how he looks for them, what he actually looks for, and hopefully it'll help of course the new guys that are coming in. Is that alright with you, Mark?
Sounds good. That's some introduction now. That's the best introduction I've had.
That took at least a minute as I did it. Right, I'll have right. So we're going to have a look at the goalkeepers that are on Sorare data, and I don't know if everyone can actually see all the goalkeepers when they go on Sorare data, because I might not have the membership to allow it all. I'm not sure how much you need on that, do you, Mark? Is it the full membership you need to get it all on?
I'm not sure about the shortlist site, because obviously that's like the data on the scores and stuff. So I don't know, because obviously I signed up straight away. So
yeah, I did as well. It's so good, isn't it?
Brilliant. It's like,
yeah.
Even that, I just still think it's good value for the actual money, but obviously it just depends on your budget too. Like,
yeah,
definitely. Or whatever, if you only got a team for 100 quid. But so let's have a look at it.
Well, let's have a look then. I'll go up in, I'll go to your manager name at the top there, and we'll go to, in fact I don't go to that first, I'm going to go to scout first and then player rankings. This is how I always scout for mine. I don't know if you're different with this, but this is how I always do mine. It seems like the quickest way.
Yeah, you can do that in the app as well. So if you've got the app, the scout function has been added to the app now, which is quite handy because it means that you're just on your mobile or whatever, you can do that, and all the filters are available.
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's good that.
Filter and stuff. So I can't say like it's a brilliant data site. It's been awesome, and obviously it's you need to pay for it now, but like at the start you didn't have to.
Yeah, it was all free, wasn't it? It was good.
Yeah, it was unreal.
I think we were lucky.
Yeah, did a great job.
Well, we're going to goalkeepers. I'm going to set goalkeepers up there. We're going to go to minimum of 0 because some of these keepers wouldn't have even played a game yet, I believe. So we need to be able to catch them. So we'll put it on 0. I'm also going to go to. I always go to floor price because that's the maximum you'll ever pay for it at the time, isn't it? On that day. And we're doing under 23. I guess they're all under 23s as the Wonderkids, maybe. So I'll click that as well, and then we'll click filter.
And very young for a goalkeeper, is it? Under 23, so.
Yeah, I mean. Let's just hang on. I'm just going to put this to limited at the top, so the highest price is at the top now. You'll see got these love arts down here, which is the keepers I've already highlighted, so you'll see a few of them.
Yeah.
Right, so who's the first one you want to talk about then? Because obviously it's not the top keepers and the most expensive ones, because they're already number ones, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, a lot of the time what I like doing is I like buying guys before they've actually played. So what you'll notice is like these guys obviously like Van der Voort 340, Costa 330, Chevalier 320, Donnarumma 364. That might seem a wee bit low, but he's not under 23s next year, so that would price in a wee bit.
Yeah.
Armardashvili. So these guys are all pretty expensive in terms of an amount of money for a goalkeeper.
That's
what
true.
you'll find is a lot of the guys who haven't played yet, or people go less, or people are not buying for game weeks, are like 10 quid, 15, 20. Some of the better ones might be 30 or 40, but generally speaking, they'll be like, under maybe 30, 25, 30 quid. So there's a big difference between obviously what people are paying for the guys who are actually starters compared to the guys who aren't playing just now. So you can get a huge amount of value if you're willing to actually pick up a couple of the guys who aren't playing just now. Just like, and obviously have a bit of patience, and
that's the main thing with yourself, isn't it? You have a lot of patience. I mean, you've got a big gallery, so you can sort of hide them in your gallery somewhere. The likes of, I mean, I have a small gallery. You just forget about them and make money afterwards, don't you? But I have quite a small gallery.
Reasons now as well, because they've changed the training now, so if you want to enter training you can't put a comment in, so it's kind of handy if you want to put a training team in, because the free training team is just now you can double points, so if you need a goalkeeper obviously to enter that, so if people have got cards or whatever and they want a wee bit of a some fun when somebody that's going to be good or maybe playing later on, it can be quite handy as well if you want to actually enter a training team. And it's obviously most guys just enter a one team, but if you can enter a second team into training, then you're
that's true.
next fee, and then that might make a difference. Obviously, particularly limited, which is quite competitive. So.
I mean, I'll come back to some of these guys here because there's a few young ones there, like Chris Brady, who has played, but we might come back to him later on. But if there's any that catch your eye as we go down here now, just let us know. I mean,
there's a good list. I think you were maybe want to have a wee chat about Eco Mantle, Obata. He's a guy I've owned for a while. He's actually a team in J League 2, so they get relegated. He was playing a bit and then he fell out of the team, and it looks as if they were going up. He didn't go up, so I don't know if he's actually he's not getting into the moment, so he might actually even be maybe showing a bit higher than he kind of ought to be, if that makes sense. So,
I don't know Obata. I don't know him that well, to be honest. I mean, I remember the team.
The average price was £9 and the floor is 69. So but he's the key bit of information I look at in the 23s as well is when there are under 23 until as well.
Yeah, this bit up here.
Under 23 until 2026. So, because he's got a good few years left, then he's a good chance of having a young goalkeeper. People might not really understand why there's such a premium for under 23 goalies, but the reason is that there's not, like, goalkeepers tend to get better with age, and if they're playing at a young age, it's quite rare. So obviously Donnarumma is seen as a really good under 23 goalie, but if you ask people about goalkeepers, they would just say Courtois, talking guys like that. But actually, there's not that many world class under 23.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it now, people are trying to buy these keepers to be, like you say, an impact straight away, whereas it seems like you would buy rare and super rare more. With a young goalkeeper that's going to come through and you've got 2 or 3 years for him to build. Whereas the limited, I mean, you might get to like £100, maybe £200 maximum. So sometimes me having a small gallery, I think, can I really afford to have like £200? Well, a little bit of money sat in the bank just doing nothing basically because you're waiting for it.
Another thing as well is you've got to look at how much you're paying and how much you think it might be worth. So if you buy a limited goalie at a fiver and it turns out to be worth £100,
well,
that's a really, really good uplift.
Your ROI is quite good in that, isn't it? Yeah.
But you buy a rare goalkeeper at £50, then that means they need to sell for 1,000. So if the rare goalkeepers are under 23 are not that good, or selling for 600 or 700, then you might be better having 10 limited cards. So you can kind of do that, and obviously if you want to have more than one, so maybe you can sell one and you can keep one or whatever, then that's going to be hard.
That's a good idea as well. Yeah, I guess that's good.
At a time, so.
Yeah. But I mean, this guy, Nico Mantle, I mean, I think we've known each other now on here for it's coming up for 2 years, I think now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think February's 2 years, so we've been chatting most days, I think. But you told me about Nico Mantle when I first talked to you, I think. And he's coming through and he's been pushing and pushing to get in that place, having he just didn't make it. But now with his transfer, surely he's got to be like one of the top keepers on the game at the moment for scoring wise when he goes there.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it depends how they do. I don't think they're really that high up in terms of the league, so I guess it depends what they actually concede. But the good thing is now he's moved, he can't be minted. So because he can't be minted at the moment because they're not a licensed team, then if he does do well, then obviously there's no new ones coming out, there's no prizes coming out. He's getting a game, so obviously some of his price might have been people thinking that he would get a game for Salzburg, but by going out and going and getting some experience, that doesn't really hamper his chances of always playing for Salzburg. And he's under 23 until 2024, so obviously talking about Salzburg, they're signing Schlager on a free transfer I think this summer, and then they've got Cohen, so they're going to have a couple of goalies. But he was kind of coming with attention because he used to play in Bundesliga 3 I think, and then he went straight to Salzburg. So
he was Germany under 21 as well, was he? Was he under 18s and
I
under
think he played for
20s?
German youth level.
Yeah.
So obviously Salzburg are really wrong about stuff like that, and then obviously didn't really play. But like he's always been like relatively expensive, like not like 50, 60, 70 quid a limit.
Yeah.
There was a point where he was maybe a wee bit cheaper than that. So a lot of people had confidence that he was pretty good, and then the odd time he did get a game for Salzburg, it was quite rare. He's looked pretty good as well.
Let's see if we've got any skills on him.
Salzburg's model is that they bring guys on there and then they sell guys like Haaland or whatever. People go to Leipzig or people move on to bigger clubs. So there's always a chance that he was going to actually be one that might actually get the full team at Salzburg, obviously. But now he's been out on loan and he's going to be playing for AAB. So he's there was another young guy playing there because the first choice thing injury or something, and now they've brought him in, and I think they're thinking of selling Sander for a few million. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be like a.
That was another one you told me about, Sander, when that first happened. We sort of cashed in. Must have cashed in on him, didn't we?
That's always nice. Yeah. But I mean, if you get them on cheap enough and you can sell on, the thing is you've made a bit of profit there. And ultimately, like some people would just prefer to play, but because there's such a demand for under 23s goalies, profit you can make is actually pretty good. So sometimes it's worth a $5 or a $10 or if you something you really like, you just think, well, I've got that money available and I don't want to be paying 80 or 90 quid for a goalkeeper. I'm happy to wait till later. You'll get good value over their career because there's 10, 15 quid for a guy, and then you might be able to use them for multiple seasons. So that's always going to be good value no matter what happens to the price. So
I mean, looking down, Colsitani, is he losing his place this year or is he keeping it, do you think?
He went out on loan, and I think the kind of general consensus is that he might actually either be rotated or be back up to Hagasaguchi. So
He scores
a bit
well.
of a tricky one because people have been used to him playing, so
Yeah.
a starter, but they're talking about even some form of rotation or one with a cut goalkeeper or whatever, and that's really what you can't have with a young goalie is somebody where you don't know if they're going to play because
Yeah.
people are really interested.
It's a bit of a chance, isn't it?
Aye.
So
he is a good goalkeeper though, and obviously he's been out and he's went on loan, and Hagasaguchi looks quite old, but as we know, Asian goalkeepers.
Played till the 70 then.
One is jumps out here is Nevis.
Yes, I was going to mention this guy. Well, he's 24, but he's still got utility, hasn't he, until another 6 months or so.
Summer, and obviously there's a lot of rumours now, I think Villarreal and stuff for Levakovic because of a really good World Cup.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised he's still there. I think he's pretty good. But this guy went out on loan last season. He played for another team, and he was the first choice of the other team. So the reason he's a good price because people are obviously expecting that Levakovic will leave, and even though he's timing out, he's still a lot younger than Levakovic, and Zagreb obviously are a top team in Croatia as well. They do usually win the league, so when they're on it, they're usually a good team.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of clean sheets, I would think, isn't he?
Yeah, they've not been as good this year. I don't think the manager's been a bit insane, but they had the start of the season. They had Champions League or European qualifiers. There was a lot of rotation and some injuries and stuff, so it was getting quite hard to predict the lineup. But I think things have maybe settled out a bit now.
Still something.
Coming down. I mean, there is actually, it's kind of sort of shows why it's good to get a bit of guidance. There's quite a lot of actual available goalies in one way or another as well, so it must be a bit of a minefield if you know these guys or whatever to sort of.
I mean, it's sometimes best as well to wait till after this transfer window, isn't it? Because there's so many keepers moving at the moment. Like, you think you've got one, and then someone else moves in and he's number 2 again.
Yeah, the other thing to look out for just now is that obviously Sorare's always covered the Championship, and now we're covering Bundesliga 2 or France League 2.
Yeah.
We're covering Serie B and La Liga Smartbank. So if you get guys who are a really good goalkeeper but they're at one of the top clubs in those leagues, then you've got the chance where they can go on to the lower league and become more valuable. So getting game time, you can use them for under 23s. So that's a kind of good angle now as well if you're looking for guys that play for the bigger teams, because in the past we were kind of more worried about whether we're going to get game time, and those things weren't covered. If they went there then they wouldn't score, but now they do. So
I mean, this was another guy, because it was like a top keeper until I bought him again, as always.
you jinxed them.
I do, I jinx it. I buy these guys that are on like 70s and stuff, and then suddenly they're down to nothing. You always say it's me that's doing it, so.
The 25 post-Wakey's back.
But he's looking at a transfer, isn't he, B, is it? Is it Galatasaray?
The thing is, he was doing well. His team were doing pretty well because last season I think they just narrowly beat relegation. So this year, for large parts, they've been pretty much mid-table or at one point might even in the top half, and he was in good form. The fans seem to like him and stuff as well.
Yeah.
He kind of went through a wee spell recently, probably just after the bottom, where he chucked a few in and stuff. So that's super rare sale as mines. So I get really lucky here, although it's the best comes at a genius or whatever, but he actually got dropped like 2 game weeks after I sold him, but I didn't sell him just because of that. I sold him because he formed a wee bit and he was out under 23s in the summer, so I decided I didn't really want to hold him into 24 because they're not like, you know, he was scoring well, but they're not like a team
I'll look at
that
the scores.
to be like doing that well in Turkey or whatever. So his last 40 is still 50, even though
he was so good, wasn't he? And then he just, like you say, when I bought him, just went downhill. So
look at scores. I mean, he was
through
doing a couple of really high scores. We see before that the DMPs, there was a point where he wasn't actually fully the first choice. So he used to play in Holland, and he was out of contract there with one of the teams. I can't remember who it was. So it was like, then he was released and he signed obviously into Turkey. I think he might actually may have when he was younger played with Ajax youth and then moved to one of the lower teams in Holland, but didn't really get a game. So
because I didn't even know he was Dutch. Someone told me on Twitter that he was Dutch. I was like, oh, is he? I thought he was Turkish at first because he's been there that long.
That's it. Well, he's Turkish, but he was brought up in Holland, so he's a dual nationality. So I mean, with him, the thing you've got to be careful is you buy him now and he doesn't hit before he's 24, then
then he'll go down in price, won't he, when he hits 24?
So that's the kind of one of the risks you're going to have there.
There's another interesting one.
Suarez, one of the ones that
Suarez, right, yes, let's talk about him. Because if someone's looking at this now and they see 0, 0, 0, they're going to think, well, why would I pay 40 quid for something that's on 0, 0, 0? How are they knowing that this keeper's decent? I mean, what sort of research are we looking at, like national teams and if they were playing under 18s, under 17s, whatever? You know.
Well, this guy, he's actually, he had a wee bit of a pump. I think he scored a goal, so he was playing for like Benfica or something, and he actually, like, he had a pass out and a goal or an assist, so basically he did this like good sort of goal involvement, and it was on Twitter and stuff like that.
So that's what attracted you.
25 quid and he's sort of went up a wee bit. He's under 23s until 2026, so he's got a good chance in terms of the amount of time before he's going to get a game. He is really highly rated there, so from what I can see from clips and from stuff that's available, he's probably not the best goalkeeper yet. But
because not no games.
So where that's interesting is we look back to Salzburg and going at Salzburg regarded as a guy who's good on the ball, and football's changed a wee bit now. You know, it's not just about one up. It's like somebody's guy boy, he's comfortable, pass the ball about the back, be involved in the play. So he's been involved at youth levels. There's some good scouting reports on him. There's been some clips. He's highly regarded, and I think somebody who can develop a bit. The other thing is that Benfica have just sold Helton Leite.
I just saw that.
They were talking about bringing in a Brazilian guy as backup, but they were also considering this guy as a backup as well. So that shows that they rate him, because although this year's it's an injury, then they think that he could potentially come into the team. So at his age, at 20, to be regarded as maybe being backup at Benfica, I think is actually quite significant, because they wouldn't put him on the bench if it was rotten.
I mean, I must admit, I hadn't heard him until you mentioned him a while back, and you know, I've done a little bit of scouting on him now, and again, if he was new to the game, that you'd look at him and think, I'm not even looking at him, don't know who he is. So it's worth sort of digging in, isn't it, to all these reserves that are in the big teams, just to see who's in there and see what they're, if they played national games or anything.
His price is interesting as well, because people are consistently paying 30, 40 quid for him. You could get like somebody else who starts for that poor scores. So sometimes you think, why are people paying 30, 40 quid? Why are people paying 600, 700?
And it only needs that rumour, doesn't it, to, he's going to go somewhere, and boom, if the price is up, get rid of him and move on, or keep him if you want to.
The big thing is that if he's
Yes, of course.
Benfica, and then you guys are rolling out him, a defender, Antonio Silva, Enzo Fernandez. All of a sudden, there's an under 23 Benfica stand. So he's probably priced a wee bit higher as well because people think there's a chance of him play for Benfica at some point. And they're one of the best challenger sides at the moment. They're absolutely awesome. So I think he's one definitely have a look at. Or, if the price maybe a bit too high for you, then fair enough. But look at what he's super rare. So I'm getting prepared for hopefully the next couple of years, which is a bit less.
See, I know if they're going to be a good goalkeeper or not, because all you've got to do is look at your page and you'll see that you've bought, I don't know, a super 15 limiteds of him. So you know he's going to be decent if you've done that.
Yeah, I think I had like 9 Mark Verbruggen or whatever as well.
I saw that as well recently.
And he had played for Anderlecht before, so he didn't really need many clues there because there was a point where actually he played 6 or 7 games, and if he came in for a game or two, it was like playoffs or whatever, which is quite important over there, to do the league split. And I think Krombrugge come back and they just left him in. It's like, and then obviously they switched that around recently.
Yeah, because that seemed to be a shock when Krombrugge was suddenly just dropped. Hadn't really done that much wrong, had he? And boom, gone.
It was quite sudden, but I think it's an interesting one because when company tried to sign him for
Burnley,
Anderlecht asked him for 10 million, so that again got my attention. They think this guy is worth 10 million euros, so he might be he can't be that bad.
Well, yeah, because they were looking at Muric or him, weren't they? And I rate Muric quite highly, and I thought, well, why would they go for him when Muric is, a good chance of going? So obviously he must be good.
I think company must have known him. Company was the manager there, right? So he must have known him, and I think eventually when they got Muric, that might be the Man City connection because Muric was obviously from Man City.
So company would have known him there again, probably, wouldn't they?
Possibly, or even just through his connections in terms of I need a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Whatever.
What did you think of this guy, Mark? I just looked at him a minute ago.
Yeah, he's interesting. So he's a backup to Safanov. I think he's played a couple of games.
He has, and he looked quite good in them as well. And
came in and he played a few games. I think the issue with him is obviously Russian cards are not getting into at the moment. So actually getting one cheap enough, because based on how good he is or being the backup, he probably should be 20 quid or something. But the lowest in the market is he's 39 quid.
Yeah, 39 quid is decent. And look, utility till 26.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. I mean, I think that Safanov might have moved abroad if it weren't for the war. He was interested in Spurs and stuff at some point, and there was talk of move to Zenit, and then Krasnodar said we want 20 million. So I don't really see any teams that are going to spend 20 million on something just now. Probably don't have the funds.
He's got some good scores, hasn't he, when he does show up?
Yeah, he looks decent. So he's probably a good shout, but I just think that maybe 39 quid's maybe just on the expensive event just because he's not been minted at the moment. So if anybody's watching this, the war came, Sorare said, we're not going to sell any more cards from Russia, we'll still score that league, but we're not going to sell any more cards due to the moral side of things. So he might just be a touch over on price because he's not been minted.
That's another one. Hassle's. There's question marks over Hassle as well, isn't there now?
Yeah, well, I think they were looking to sign Takaoka, I think. So
yeah, we know why there's question marks over him. It's because I bought him. So I bought him. He's gone down now, so there we go.
Just go through your gallery and then
stay away from the keepers. Jovan Srbik, I thought he was quite good as well, but he's still too young at the moment to even consider a thing. But
Jurbeck's moved to Bundesliga.
Yeah, so he might get a few games there now, but
I don't know if I don't think we've played any games yet because the Bundesliga came back last week in the second Bundesliga come back this week, so I think it'll be an interesting one. So I think if he does play, he'll probably be worth more than 35. So
do we know where he's gone? Let's have a quick look, just make sure. There's that many movements at the moment about with goalkeepers and stuff. It's hard keeping track. Ravensburg, Jan Ravensburg. Surely he must play for them because he's a decent keeper, isn't he?
I want to see. I wonder why they've signed him. They've got a couple of guys who are more experienced. Although the guy Stojanovic, so he's not played since.
I'm guessing this is when he moved. This big jump in his price must be when he moved then. Yeah.
Well, interestingly, last game they conceded 3 and the goalkeeper looked quite rank, although he's solid performances before that. So that's an interesting one. I wonder if there's any injuries or anything involved there
Yeah.
number one. Again, under 23, 2028 is quite a long time, so even if he is just highly rated, then he's one if you will.
Yeah, it could take a few years for him to come through, but it'd be worth it, I guess, wouldn't it, in the end?
Yeah.
So that's
It's
big.
quite watch what these things will buy after the pump, so like obviously if you sell for 20 quid,
Yeah.
he's moved, he doesn't play, he's probably go back to 20 quid again, so
Yeah.
you should do for that.
That's another interesting one, Spieler as well. Didn't he go to Roma?
Yeah, he went from one bench to another, so.
Yeah, and hasn't got in it. Looked quite good, didn't
Well, I
it?
mean, I don't think he was actually any chance of getting in there. Like, I think he obviously Portuguese and Mourinho liked him and all that sort of stuff. He was going to be a backup, but
Yeah.
I think at his stage he probably needs to play games. But the issue is, obviously, he seems to be rated highly enough to be a backup, but he's not actually playing any games, so that's not really much use utility wise.
Yeah.
Sorare, and he times out this year, so he's not enough next year.
Yeah. This is another one I'm looking at. I've got one of these, of course, so beware that his price will go down any second now. But yeah, I bought him as soon as we all heard that, the other keeper's going to move away again quite early. I think everyone jumped on Lacey, but there's a chance that it might not even get that number one yet.
That's why the big spike, because he's always on the bench and he's quite high rated there as well, so they do think that this guy could be a success at Martin. So big spike was when they said that he might be taking the Leipzig early because of the injury to Gulashi. Lazovic didn't play, but they felt as if they might need one more, but it's not really happened so far, so I don't think it will happen. Maybe in the summer, but not probably not as much just now.
So who else we got here that you looked at then? There's I know there's another couple, isn't there? Leandro Bray.
He played a bit in Argentina for one of the sort of lower league clubs, and then Boca signed him. He's been quite popular recently because obviously Augustin Rossi's moving, and then he signed a free contract with Flamengo, and then after signing a free contract, he's been loaned to Al Nassr, which got covered. I think like Sir Romero or Garcia's got a couple more experience there. So you think that this guy's like good, but not like he's not going to be one of the
not massive.
Just now, but I think people fancy that he might be a guy who gets a loan to one of the other clubs. So he's been relatively expensive. He's starting like 20 quid all the way up to 40 quid. He's dipped again. So I think the rise was around the time where people thought, well, was this guy might get a chance of taking Rossi's place, and then obviously all the older guys have been playing the friendlies and stuff. But I think he's still a talent, and he's a guy who, funnily enough, if he's not the backup, maybe they'll just decide to send him out on loan like they do a lot of guys. He does got Antigua and things. So, but under 23, 2027, and he has played first team football in some of the other leagues. So, he's could be an interesting one.
Just looking at that, Matt, we've got about 10 minutes on here before it shuts off by the looks of it. So I'll quickly go through another few, because there's definitely a bigger one on here that you haven't mentioned yet, isn't there? Is it Lotka and Olafsson? I'll go down to them because it's. Let's have a look at Olafsson. He's one of the big recommendations. Yeah.
Well, when he came out, he was selling the Reserves at 2,000, so he was pretty expensive.
Yeah, 251 now.
In Thailand, I've never seen it right. They've got two good goalkeepers, him and they've got Jonas Loso, and Loso was a good goalie as well. But at one point, Olafsson was playing and Loso was on the bench. He's ended up losing his place, I think mainly due to injury. So he was always quite expensive, and it's a guy where I was just like wasn't really interested in buying. But he's dropped down now to a real kind of proper low level. So a few of the limited went for like 12, 13 quid, I think, recently. And then
so it's gone up a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, he's a guy who I bought rare, I bought some limited. I'm not sure when he come back that he's going to win his place back. But again,
let's hope he does.
So he's until next summer, and also some of these guys, like do tend to move on to bigger leagues from Denmark, etc. He has played and looked really, really good whilst playing and kept that inexperienced goalkeeper out. So I think he's a good one at his current price. And our one was Goalkeeper.
Yeah, I can't even say his name now. Guttelbauer, is it? Something like Guttelbauer.
So he's another guy who they sent out on loan, and he was playing out on loan with the other team. It wasn't a Bundesliga team, it wasn't a Bundesliga team, it was more of a lower league team, and basically he was
Yes. His price has gone up slightly there just recently, but
yeah, I think that's probably after I bought 3 or 4 of them.
yeah, everyone's seen it and bought them.
Obviously, sorry, you can check people's accounts, so if you want to know who I'm buying or whatever, you
Just
can
mean
check
that.
that. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's taken a wee bit of a bump. I don't think there's any particular market reason for that. It's probably actually because I bought like super rare and rare. And
People taking note.
People taking notice of that, yeah.
Right, Look.
So he was final one I kind of wanted to recommend. So he's owned by Dortmund.
Yeah.
He was out on loan. So last season he played some games for Hertha. So he does have
Still cheap, isn't it? £16, cheap now.
Cheap, yeah. So under 23s 2025. You've got some actual data there to work with because he played for Hertha Berlin. He was only on loan, so obviously after that he went back to Dortmund. I think Dortmund quite fancy him as well. I think like they're quite happy with him. Like being back
they're
up
like loading that up.
because I think they had was it No1 Keepers used to be back up. I think he's went to like.
Oh, what's this doing here now? Computer's playing right up there.
So yeah, but he played. So he was out. He was on loan. He played like quite a lot of Bundesliga games.
Yeah.
Come back. I think they're kind of talking about him maybe being the number 2. There was talk at one point, maybe would he either our loan get some experience, but he looks, from what I can see, he looks a good goalie. And if he did get in at Dortmund, which obviously is a big if, because he is a good goalkeeper, but if he did get in, he would be a humongous price.
Yeah, he scores out.
Well, but from the point of view of Kobel, although people think these guys are nailed sometimes, when guys are so good, you think, well, what else could happen? Dortmund do tend to sell good players as well, so there's a bit of chat about Kobel along the lines of when Neuer got injured as well, or some long-term successor, if Nubel doesn't want to come back. It's interesting. So this guy's quite affordable, if you want to buy him.
Yeah, it looks it, yeah.
Not that expensive, so and that's because like he's not really on the radar of anybody. And I think he's if you're happy to sit on him beyond this window, there's no guarantee he's going to go out on loan this month or whatever. But things could change in the summer, or he could be on the bench, and it could be a random injury, which happens a lot more than I actually thought it would happen before.
Yeah.
Not really noticed about the rotation in goalkeepers. So.
Well, we're nearly down the bottom of the list there, but Nuruddin was another who sort of got in and then played international as well, didn't he, recently? And then
I was in
come back and nothing.
I think the manager who came there came from one of the Austrian clubs, and he brought Moser over and he used to play in the same club. So probably an argument one point it's about Mike Penders, because he's also getting he's pretty highly rated there as well. I don't think he's ready to play yet. Obviously when Mark van der Voort was there, they had the Australian guy. I can't remember his name, but he was like 37 or 38 or something, and everybody was still knew that Van der Voort was going to be edged in, and then one day they just came out and went bang, he's going to play. This guy's quite highly rated. I think he's a bit raw, obviously there's not much information about him.
He's quite a tall guy, from what I remember. I haven't got the information on here, but
they look at under 23 till 2030, so
17 years old. That's good.
They've got Lyson, they've got Vic Chambéry, and this guy. So this guy's latest to get a card. I don't know much about myself. I've seen some good reports on him. I think he's quite a big guy. You think he's a guy more with potential, so I don't think he's ready to play at the moment, but definitely one for the future. He's not that expensive at the moment. If he's not going to be playing soon, then he may even come down a wee bit. But he's pretty affordable if you just want to buy one and take this sort of scouting.
Like we say with him, 2030 he runs out of under 23 utility. So and I always tell the guys, go and have a look at him. Go and do your own research as well, so you can tell them who the guys are, and then let them go and do their own research to find out on all the different sites to look at.
Yeah, I think with stuff like this, you've kind of got to try and find out if there's any good noises coming out of the club, because if this guy's good and he's that age, then he might not develop into a good player. A lot of these guys go by the wayside, but if the club are pretty confident or whatever, then that usually, because they're the best judge of how good that guy is.
Yeah, the guys that coach him every day and that. So, is there anyone else here? Let's have a quick look. Did we touch on? Yeah, we did, didn't we? Suarez and that. Yeah, we touched on most of the keepers, haven't we? See if there's anyone else down there.
He's the other young
up here, Luca Ubahon. This one?
Yeah, so he's the other sort of backup, a young goalkeeper at Dortmund. I don't think he's as good as Lorca. So I think people sort of buying this guy thinking he might get loaned out. Again, he's not that expensive, so...
He's played a few games, hasn't he? Has he played for them?
I think he is.
For the first...
I think he might have, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not really something I would particularly recommend or anything. I don't know if he's actually that good, but obviously,
yeah.
The chance if he gets loaned out and he gets a game in Bundesliga 2 that he'll be worth at least 3-4 times what he is just now as a minimum. So, especially being a Dortmund player, because people associate Dortmund with
nothing
developing young players and stuff, a bit like Salzburg. So he's an interesting one.
DMPs.
He's not that expensive. I don't think I've actually bought him, so maybe have a think about that. But yeah, he's played a few games at one point as well.
Yeah, I thought, yeah. Okay. Now, there's no one else on this list at the moment that's sticking. I mean, Jules Roux, I had him a while back, but he's not really, he's not got through yet. So, Sam Vestergaard's another one.
Sam Vestergaard, yeah. He's only just got a card recently, so he's a guy who I had on my short list because he was playing quite a lot for EZ2.
I think I bought the second limited of him, so it's quite high price at the time. But and Pepe Bonnet's another one that hasn't moved on, isn't he?
He's I think he's playing in one of the French low leagues or something just now. But the interesting with that is he is getting experience. So I think for a young goalkeeper, a lot of goalkeeper peak later on in their career.
Yeah, he's only 19, so yeah, it's got time, hasn't he?
So, and a lot of these guys, Lee Xiaozhang, he's
who? This one here. He is Shazayang.
Bayern on him.
Sounds like a group from the 80s or something like that. Shazayang.
He's on loan in Austria, but he's owned by Bayern, so he came through in China.
Okay.
So he chose his Austrian club.
Oh, is it Klagenfurt?
Yeah. He's not playing or anything just now, but he is owned by Bayern.
23 till 28, yeah, that's...
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's
And
really
a price
young,
rise, yeah.
They must have thought he's got good potential, so you get him maybe 5 or 6 quid. It's obviously not somebody you're kind of thinking that he's definitely going to be playing, or get a move in the summer
Yeah.
or whatever that type.
Well,
but
I guess that's where he moved there, when the price went up and then he's been on the bench and just come down in price. Yeah. So that's just about all the keepers on that list, isn't it?
Yeah. Go have a look at.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have a look at McBride Ace ETH. What was the ETH bit about? Because that was an added on one, wasn't it?
That's just because obviously Ethereum's the currency on the site and that's the ENS name. So basically ENS is like Ethereum naming service and it's a bit like individual website names. So I own the domain McBride.
Well, I think your shirt on your little picture there has been talked about quite a bit on Twitter, hasn't it? I think.
I think so, yeah. Well, that was quite a one Messi, so I won the Messi rare, and then the guy at which was Sorare Wakey. He's done this for me. He was designing like custom shirts.
Yeah.
It's like custom shirts for avatars and like basically.
I remember that. Yeah. I used to do all that on Football Manager, but Christ, I can't remember how to do it all. That's that long ago. But just whilst we're on here, Mark, because a lot of guys, they probably know you already because you're known all over Twitter and everything, aren't you? But there's all your details there if they need to get in touch with you. Yeah, I want to chat to you, and I'm pretty sure you're normally open to DMs and that, aren't you? Well, hopefully they're not all going to fly at you, but.
People, well, the thing is, when I joined the platform, I needed a wee bit of help as well. Platform
Yeah, same as me. Yeah.
But there's a lot of choice there, and there's a lot of mistakes you can make as well. So, if guys are coming on, then sort of follow your channel, message you, sign up with somebody, sign up, say to them if you sign up with the code, you can get a wee bit of advice and stuff. Because if you sign up with the code, you get a free card after you buy 5, so that's good. But also, if it's somebody like yourself and you want to DM them, you get a bit of advice, then you'll try and help them, which
Yeah.
can
I mean,
be valuable.
Well, that's why I do this channel, really, because when I joined, I didn't have a clue about Sorare. I didn't know what Ethereum was, and you sort of took me under your wing a little bit, didn't you? And, you know, you taught me what I know now, and it's the advice I get from you is fantastic. So I can't say thank you enough for that. So thanks for that.
Not a problem at all. Say everybody needs help at some point. So
Yeah. Should we have a look straight at your cards? See you've been buying recently. It's a bit slow on this today because we've got the video on as well. So come on, here we are.
I've actually bought a few younger goalkeepers recently as well, so that's probably.
Oh right, yeah, it's good to see.
Doing that. It's like a time of year where I'm sort of looking to see like who's not going to be available for the 23s next year and that type of thing. So
straight away, Craig Gordon's come back, hasn't he, from his injury quite quick?
I can't believe it. He's a double leg break, and there was a video up there night and he was pushing weights.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's incredible. So at one point he thought about it for well over a year, but he has under contract for next year. And it's a bit of conjecture because Alexander Clark has done well and everything. But to be honest though, he's older. Craig Gordon is the best goalkeeper Scotland have actually have developed in the last 25 years.
Yeah, you've got to look at this, right? Because you get your news, and as soon as you get him, and I look and go, oh, Mark's bought Craig Gordon, he must be, on the mend and that. And you hear that news, look down, you bought him, 5 keepers there at a fiver, one at £2.89. When you go on there, he's up at like 15 quid or something now, isn't he? Already.
Yeah.
So getting that news is like instant is good.
Yeah, sometimes if you see a guy and people haven't reacted, people are reacting really, really quickly, but there could be pitfalls in that as well. Obviously when Neuer got injured, that nobody knew, and you just came out.
Yeah.
The guy over, I think it was number 2, flew up, but then within a day or so, he went back down because basically they were saying that, they were looking to buy an our goalie, so, sometimes you've got to just take the profit when it comes.
Yeah, it's engineering.
This is
I like him, background.
We just start skipping over the other players that were top of the goalies, so all of a sudden we're talking about him earlier and our goal has so
that's quite cheap actually, isn't it, for him to get him an out price, $250 for Olsen.
Yeah. Obviously if he doesn't play but I think he's good enough if he doesn't play just now. If he was playing in 2 years time he'd still work for 500 or 600, so I think he'll do better than that.
Festival.
Obviously I bought him because Stroa.
Which one's that, sorry, which guy? Panda, yeah.
He was one of the few goalkeepers who was playing this midweek, and I had a really good midweek team, but I didn't have a playing goalkeeper, so just kind of one job's a pretty high price, but he is good, and he's an established number 1 there. He's on loan from Verona. I think you've got an option to buy him. Obviously, risk he could go back, but if he goes back and he plays for Verona, then he's champion Euro and under 23 goalie, which is kind of the best version. Bray we talked about earlier.
But some of these players here, you've got him at 14, that's nearly my whole gallery price. No, one player. But I keep it low anyway.
It's a lot of money, but I thought just like I had some wins recently, and also
it's just reinvesting it, isn't it? And just put it back in again when you get the money in it. It's going to build quite quick.
Sometimes you've got to be sensible and say, investments or whatever.
Well, that's why I do it with mine. I only buy players now, or I'm trying to buy players at under 50 quid. So if they do have a downside, it's not too big a drop. And also if they have an upside, it's just a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, if you're going to be playing and you're going to be using these guys, you've got to think about where you're getting some value for money as well. So if you get a guy who's a tenner that he doesn't play until later, even if he doesn't work, but you still use him, that's still beneficial because you're getting good value for that. Wakey, I think he's a really good goalkeeper, but he's went to Watford. I think he's behind Backman, and there was talk about a loan. So again, picked him up. And Locker we talked about earlier.
Is he international now, Wakey? Is he Nigerian international? Is it?
I think he is. I'm not sure if he actually played the last time. Because the problem at Watford is he's not playing it. So I think he went to Watford. He looked 5 million for him. So obviously that's not a lot for an English team. But probably expected David Backman was an international standards type goalkeeper, or the best international goalkeeper. We've got caps, so he's pretty good. So and he's done well, and he's stayed in. So but Wakey's still 23s next year as well. He married. The first choice there was that the guy that retired, or the guy that moved on.
I'm just looking. You've got 3 in a row there, haven't you? So you bought 3 of them straight away.
He's pretty cheap. He's
Yeah.
it's a bit of sort of buy for the future. But I think there was some movement in the goalie position there, which might have closed again. But again, these guys just sit on them for 4 quid. You know, it's not a lot.
Yeah, I know with you buying them now, it's going to be worth like 50 quid eventually, isn't it? Straight away. The next few weeks will be 50 quid, and then I'll buy him and go back down to 4 quid. That's when you need to get him.
You can buy him from me then. And Goalkeeper, we talked about him, about his super as well.
Oh yeah, the super.
Another thing I'm trying to do as well is that
600.
what the change Sorare made recently is you used to be able to play a rare goalkeeper in the super rare division.
Yeah.
They've now changed that, so you've got to actually have a super rare goalkeeper. So the effect of that is guys who are good and playing in super rare goalkeepers are going to be hugely in demand. And some of them can be really expensive. So if you look at that, so 600 quid, that's a lot of money. But
Yeah, it is.
he's up to a 1 out of 10 and really a low supply of those. So I was kind of preparing myself for future seasons as well. And that makes it pretty crazy for somebody on a smaller budget. For me, that helps with planning basically.
Yeah, I'm hoping with all these FPL guys coming in and hopefully the Premiership starting eventually, that, you know, all these prices might start to go up again, because we're going to have a lot of crowd come in, hopefully, aren't we? A lot of new users that are coming in, and it should put the demand up a bit more, I think.
I think there's a couple of things. Like you've got the users who come in, so you do always need some new users because people come and go. You've got the fact that the EPL's licensed, and EPL is the biggest league in terms of attraction.
Yeah.
EPL has a lot of good players in it, and if you've got a lot of good players in it, even if you don't score better, the players who are there just now, there'll be some sort of demand and value with them, so then they go in the price bills. So if you've got guys like Foden and guys like
I just can't imagine the price of him.
There's wee Samuel.
Yeah, 692. This guy's interesting. You got him in a reward, didn't you?
Yeah, I won him. Yeah.
He's quite good, isn't he?
He's been brilliant. He's done like 380s in a row or something. Sparta are an interesting team because they don't score a lot of goals, but they play with quite a solid back four, and they've been good at the back, and he's pretty solid as well. So signing him from NEC Breda last season.
Sparta have been a surprise package, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean he really scores averaging 64, which is probably slightly unsustainable.
Unique as well. Nice, unique sort of sneaks in there.
That was the old Celtic picture. One thing that obviously I'm a pretty big gallery now, and pretty big gallery value, but there's only so many competitions you can enter as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work my way up, and obviously the guys right at the top, some of the uniques are very, 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 very expensive. A lot more expensive.
Are you looking to get into uniques, are you? Are you going to be playing unique soon, do you think?
Well, with the new threshold, obviously $5 for the limited cap to 40, you're $50 for the rare, 100 for the super rare, and the unique one's $250. So if you get in under the cap and unique, you can win $250 just by getting $250. But you do need, I think, at least 4 unique to enter. So
that's hard, isn't it? I mean, that puts like 90% of the people out, and the managers out. They're never going to get to that.
What I always say to people is you play in accordance with your level and your budget.
Yeah.
So you could be a guy who's a millionaire and rubbish in Sorare, but you can play at the unique level.
Yeah.
Or you might be somebody else who doesn't have as much money but who's really got good expertise, but you've got to start limited, and then you want to work your way up. So you play what you're comfortable with, what you can afford to lose it for.
I mean, I've changed between limited and rares quite a few times now, as you know. I can always change my mind about certain things, but I think the under 23s is a way to go for me at the moment, especially limiteds, and then I might start buying a few rares now as I try and make some profit on it, but we'll see how that goes.
I think high value youth, I mean, the thing with youth is people can see that they're going to get a lot of usage through time.
Yeah.
People can potential in young players, so somebody comes in and they're 17 or 18, break into the team and they're really good, then people think this guy could be really world class, you know, because he's broken in and he's in it, he's playing already, he's only 17, and there's an excitement factor, because nobody knows who they are, and it's a bit of intrigue there. This guy's 17, he's playing for a
exactly. Why's Polster got a red mark next to him now? What's he done? Has he moved on?
Because he's been sent on loan
crappy team.
But I mean, the thing is, between last two already in Bundesliga 2, but now he's been sent formally on loan. He's got a red. But I think that's an interesting one as well, because just think they're going to sit Waddle as backup. Schlager's going to Salzburg, and
Yeah.
experience. That suggests to me that Tobias Lowell is going to be number one and Polster will be number two, so they're trying to get some experience into the backup before he's in contention for the main side. So again, Polster and Lowell last year were good shouts. I think Lowell's pole position to take over from Schlager, and he's under 23s next season as well.
So what do you call your, what should we call it, like a cut-off point then with your goalkeepers? So if you bought all these keepers and that, do you always sell when it gets to a certain point, like 30-50% or something, or do you just keep them to play in your SL5s?
Generally, I'll try and keep them until they're playing, because the main spike point is going to be when they actually get a game. You get guys where they might just play one game, they might have a random injury, and rather than 10 quid, they'll sell 30 or 40, even though they're only playing a couple of games. There might be good reasons for that as well, because obviously there might be a bit of a differential, there might be somebody people didn't know about, and also these cap modes, if they've not been playing it until they go into 0 points in the cap. So if you get a guy who's 18 and he plays and then he's 0 points, and that means you've got another 240 to spend, and the other four guys at 60 points each. So and then the goalie can still score. So some of these guys can be quite interesting for some of the modes, but also just from the point of view people think, well, he's in a game he could be good. That type of thing.
Picking up quite a few of these, aren't you?
Elias, yeah. Well, I mean, he's a guy himself, unfortunately. Olafson's a guy I really rate. I think he's a really good goalkeeper. I think he's a big guy, he's a shot stopper, reminds me a bit of Kepa, De Gea, that type of thing. Like,
that's why I bought him, because I bought him because I can see him in your squad, and as you go through your squad, or your gallery I should say, you see certain players that just keep repeating and repeating and repeating. And you're the king of the keepers. If you've got him, I know he's going to do alright, so I'm sorry if he crashes now I've got him.
And then you get back into the spell where all the Celtic players, so
that's when they had,
that's Celtic rumoured to Celtic or signed with Celtic, then I'm buying it. So,
it's between you and Quinny, there must be a right handoff between you two. Who's going to get them first?
The thing is, when Celtic came out, they were really expensive, and they're still a bit expensive, but they've come down a wee bit, so like I didn't really think I would get a lot of those guys. I just thought like the super rares and stuff would never get them. So like, when they became available for a bit less, because the World Cup was coming up and they were playing in Europe, and Real Madrid were hammering us. It was Real Madrid,
I mean, they're good for caps, aren't they? Suppose Celtic players and that, because there's so many of them, and they keep changing that often. You don't know who's playing up front, whether it be Kyogo or Maeda or
maybe settled a wee bit. The thing with Celtic is obviously goalkeeper, Vickers and Starfelt are really solid starters, but for them have had injuries at spells this year. The full-backs can tend to rotate because they bomb forward. In midfield, McGregor, Tahi pretty much play all games. Morton's been great recently, but O'Reilly's young and he's really good last season. And the wide players, Furuhashi's been pretty much first choice, and then wide players rotate a wee bit. But it's the system Celtic play. Celtic are really high press and high
Celtic players.
Manager demands it, so it's kind of the wide players do need to rotate a wee bit to keep them fresh. That's just this kind of theory of it. So it's harder to pick that team, but also if you do get the team right, sometimes there's games where the fullbacks score really highly because they're just like they're playing as right wingers or left wingers against some of the teams that are camping in, and they score really high points. So they have quite a high risk reward type thing on them as well. So
look at
look at talking about goalkeepers now. I've ended up talking to Celtic.
well, we'll get you back on, can't we? We can talk a bit more, but we both chat for bleeding England, don't we? Well, you for Scotland, me for England.
I think there's some good suggestions there in terms of goalkeepers, and like people can they can just follow me on Sorare if they want to go and look and see who I've bought, who I've won, or whatever. You can go and look, and that's one of the things I like Sorare, because you've got a transparency level where you can see who somebody else owns. Like I always like say for example the full Liverpool squad's on, then you would look at like maybe somebody like yourself who's a fan, or Liverpool Cologne, because he's buying all the unique stuff in it. So you look at somebody who's paid like £40,000, so he's 18, you think he must be confident, he's a good player and all that sort of stuff. So remember that people do have like obviously good knowledge of their own clubs and stuff as well. And that can be an edge, and people think, well, they say, well, you all these Celtic players, but better having a Benfica stack or whatever. So I don't know losing Benfica. I don't know what the manager's saying at press
Yeah,
conference.
because you do that on Twitter, don't you? You follow quite a lot of guys on Twitter, as in like the clubs themselves and like all the news guys. Because when I went down your Twitter list, I was thinking, who the hell's this? But you know, it could be like an AC Milan press officer or something that you follow, just so you get all that news first, like that.
Through time, because obviously things like transfers are really important. Sometimes you do the bad moves. Sometimes you want a bit of info. Somebody's going to be in or out, because if you play them, they're going to go score. And just for content, you know. And obviously, the real thing I would like in Sorare, obviously we're hoping the EPL comes soon. A lot of the games I've played in the past have just been EPL focused, and EPL is good, but there's lots of good football, good leagues about, and obviously having Scotland on is brilliant for us.
Yeah, it was massive, wasn't it?
Like obviously acknowledge Scotland, but and also Celtic and Rangers are really dominant.
But I think on that, Mark, though, that everyone thinks that there's only Celtic and Rangers, don't they? They always say that it's always Celtic and Rangers, but it's not. You know, when you look down that league, there's some good players at other clubs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Hearts have been doing very well recently.
Yeah.
The thing is, you don't just look at how far ahead Celtic and Rangers finish some of the other teams. You've got to look at how far ahead some of those teams finish above the teams below. So Hearts, like obviously, if they nail third and they finish 15 points above everybody else, are going to be winning a huge amount of games. So they're not going to be expensive or reliable. Celtic and Rangers, they might be in the Conference League next season. They might still be winning a lot of games.
Yeah, that's very true.
Place to go out, win 3-4-0, so they're good for fantasy football. So England's been brilliant this season.
Yeah, it's sort of worth people buying these lower players, isn't it? Because as soon as they've got a Celtic game or a Rangers game, they take them out of the team just for that 1 week, then put them back in again, because they're going to bang goals, aren't they? A lot of them players.
And I mean, it doesn't always work like that, because obviously you remember that the Scottish League isn't really a high standard league, so the budgets outside Celtic and Rangers are quite low, but you do get, like, Hearts got the guy, the young Australian boy on loan from Newcastle with a goal, so they paid a lot of money for him and sent Hearts on loan, so I hope he gets a card. So that could be quite interesting, because then you're getting a guy who's out on loan, and if he is really good, then he's going to be playing a lot for Hearts and stuff as well, so that's quite a good angle, and that's why I like it. Like sort of championship teams, you know, because you get guys like James McBride and, you know, guys like Ahmed Diallo who are now playing championship, getting experience for EPL teams, and obviously championship they play a lot of games as well, so you're getting a lot of sort of usage out of those guys.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
I mean, I've got to admit, I think the way Sorare are doing it at the moment, I know it's slightly off goalkeepers talk now, but the way Sorare are doing it at the moment, it's just, I think they're smashing it. You know what I mean? It's getting bigger and bigger, and I was afraid of too many teams joining it, because then you get all these cards coming out, don't you, all the time, and it puts the prices down. But you know, when the millions join, because I think eventually, you know, it could be 2 or 3 years from now, you could have 1 million users, couldn't we, quite easily?
Yeah.
Especially if the Premier League comes on.
Millions of users, but not like active users.
Yeah.
But, like, 2.5 years ago when I started, like the maximum you would see in the All-Star would be 500. That would be the total entrance, and now you're looking at some of the All-Star tournaments, you 40,000-50,000 people entering in an All-Star. The question people will ask is, how can these things go on and Sorare can still produce prices or keep people engaged if they're not winning? But Sorare is now building in things like fan experiences and stuff with AC Milan, where they pay quite a lot of money for the exclusive AC Milan license, but they're running a prize and somebody's going to get to go and play with it. You know, those are quite priceless moments, for want of a better word. So obviously they can create some value with the teams with just actually the card reward. So there'll still be a challenge, because obviously it's going to get harder and harder to actually win the top prizes, but the return you can get just now, if you buy 5 cards at 20 quid each, and 2 game weeks later you win a card that's worth 20 quid, you've paid 20%, but you've also got those cards for the next.
It's all relative, isn't it? So, whether you're unique or limited, it doesn't matter. It's relative to what you paid out.
It's relative to your budget, and at one point it was pretty expensive to buy in, but now you can get like limited goalkeeper for 20 or 30 quid, midfielders for 10 each. So if you want to put in a team and you want to spend under 100 quid, you can do that. I mean, obviously it's a minefield. You might need to go yourself for me and say, you suggest a defender for a tenner, because like, you know, all the defenders are 60 or 70 quid, and we'll find a nugget, and somebody just transferred.
I'm just starting this next week. I'll do a video series on it about the 50 quid for a team, so we'll see how we get on with that.
No, that's quite interesting, because like what I will say is guarantee there'll be somebody that'll be 10 quid just now that'll be 50 quid
Yeah.
next month.
Well, it happened with
Maybe some other way around, but there will be guys like that.
yeah, it happened with the Wolfsburg guy, the striker, Jonas Vind. I just bought him because I said this is a guy, and I sort of told everyone to go and get him. They went and got him, and I sold mine for like, I don't know, 30% profit that normally, and boom, he flew up, didn't he? Next game, so he's hit like 4 goals in 2 games or something, hasn't he? Something like that.
Really good, isn't it? He won 6-0 and then 5-0, so
Yeah. I wish I'd kept him now a bit longer, but never mind. Well, I made the profit, you move on to the next one, don't you?
If you're trying to make a profit, then sometimes you just got to live with that. Like,
Yeah.
Some guys who go up and you'll keep them and then they're halved by 2 months' time.
Yeah.
But Sorare is quite based on demand and form, and obviously fixtures. And then some guys who obviously don't have budget just to hold everybody, what they'll do is they'll buy in and out of players. So they'll sell somebody and you go to buy somebody else, and then that'll bring some demand. I think the cap boards are interesting because you can't just buy a team and say right there under the 240 cap.
Yeah, you can't keep them, can you?
A little bit above the cap, so you might need to move some of those guys on and buy somebody who suits that particular fixture.
But I mean, there's always a next person that comes in, and so even if you sell one, there's always a next target to go for. So I just love the trading side of it. I always have done, haven't I?
Because under 23s are always goalkeepers at timing out.
Yeah.
So if you are able to focus on the guys who you think are going to come through, you get them first. Then
Yeah, you're laughing, aren't you?
So you have guys you can use. Also, you'll make a good amount on your buys as well, because they shoot up like there's no tomorrow really in terms of prices and things. So
Well, I mean, that's why my whole gallery is like that. My whole gallery is under 23s. There's only a couple of players where I've still got to sell them yet, but it's all 23s because they've got loads of time, haven't they, on the side to try and make a good week or a good 5 weeks where you can sell them. They have 5 good scores in a row and sell them, can't you?
What I would say about that looks like a long list. You filtered out the games, so there's a lot of guys in that list who will play.
Yeah.
And within that list, there's a lot of guys who will qualify for the 23s next year. So I was explaining this in the last part, but obviously Mbappe, guys like Mbappe and Haaland are the best rewards. The platform, the most expensive.
Yeah.
And you can win them in global, you can win them in champion. But then under 23s, you can only win somebody who's under 23s. So you win an under 23s.
Exactly, yeah.
Somebody who's 4 figures for a rare and all that sort of stuff. So there's a demand for that, but you've got to have an under 23 goalkeeper to enter that.
Yeah.
Then there's a small group of ones who are actually any good. So if you get somebody who wasn't playing and then becomes good, then you're going to make a huge.
Well, this is like Mantle, isn't it? If Mantle gets in now, and I think I bought him at 21 quid or something, if he gets in that team now, you've got him for however long you want to, or you can sell him and make a bit of a profit on him.
He can still be the 23s next season, so
Yeah.
anything can happen. If you do well in loan, somebody can buy him. He can end up back at Salzburg and playing.
Yeah.
Sign Schlager, who's to say that someone doesn't come out with a good bid for Cone goes, and then Mantle goes back and they say Schlager, oh, you're 26, we only play younger guys here. Because their whole ethos is about developing good young players, and then all of a sudden he's Salzburg goalkeeper, and then he's watching. So, or he just does well out there, and somebody picks him up because the clubs are buying goalkeepers. I don't think they're particularly looking at younger guys, but sometimes you see guys who are really good, and the club will go out and they'll just spend. They just think that's my goalkeeper sorted for a good number of years, or actually, if we decide to change, we will have a resale value, so that they can be quite interested in that. I think Manuel is good. I think he'll surprise people in terms of how good he is. I think he is actually a really good goalkeeper. He's just not.
Yeah, not had the chance, has he? Yeah.
There's out people's minds because they think, oh, he was good at playing, but he's behind a really good goalkeeper. So like they've got lots of good players, Salzburg, and I think he'll do well hopefully. So.
Yeah. Well, let's we'll wrap it up there, Mark, on the keepers. We've covered quite a lot, so it's up to the guys now to go out and research all them keepers that you just said that we went through, and obviously go and have a look at, follow you on here, because it's the best sort of information you can get, looking at who you're buying, and if you're buying 10 of them, then they're obviously decent. But go and have a look. We've got all these details here, and like I say, Mark is so good at answering any DMs and that. You're always there. If you're there, you'll help out, won't you? But same as us.
Yeah, I mean, people come on. It's really. I think the worst thing you can do is come on and spend like a few £1,000 if you don't know what you're doing.
Just go through it.
Really experienced in EFS or experienced in fancy football or whatever. That's fine.
It's hard, isn't it?
That's a more detailed performance matrix and stuff than normal FPL. So, you know, you come in and like you're looking to work your way up and you're looking to have a bit of fun with it, then that's great.
Yeah.
But getting a bit of help from people is good. And a lot of the content out there is good, but even if the content's brilliant, you will still have other questions.
Yeah, of course.
So, you know, it's
Well,
just a case of, you know,
yeah, they know where to get hold of you, and you know, make sure that below it, because Mark's come on with his own time. He's a busy man, and he's spent time out to come and do this video. So hit that like button below, and make sure you subscribe as well, because we'll have Mark back on again if he'll have us. We'll get Mark back on, and we'll talk about different ways of going about things and see how we get on with that to help out people.
hopefully the platform's moving forward, so hopefully
Yeah, definitely.
we'll have some new leagues.
We'll see. There's that many leagues nowadays, I can't keep up with them all.
We've kept separate.
Well, we can have a talk about the new leagues that come out, or them, the beta ones that are now proper leagues and stuff, so we can have a talk about that next time as well.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. And obviously specific strategies and things to
Yeah, definitely.
those leagues as well. Yeah.
And Mark, it's good to have you on this show. Unless we only ever see you now and again on YouTube, don't we? So you're a hard man to get hold of.
Yeah, I
But
thought, like, I mean, obviously, I did say I'd like to make more content. Obviously,
yeah,
it takes a bit of time, and you know, I've quite got a big gallery. It kind of takes me a bit of time. That's nice.
I was just putting your training teams in before, wasn't it?
I'll leave it free now, so that'll free up about 10 hours a week.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Mark, for coming on tonight and sharing your views and that, and sharing your knowledge, of course. Absolute honour having you on the show. So thank you very much for that. And we'll see you soon. I'm going to say goodbye to everyone now. Make sure you tune in, go and subscribe, go and hit that like button, and we'll see you on Twitter or even on what's this other one called? Discord. I'm hardly ever on there now, and Discord. So okay, thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.